These 5 hacks will make working from home much more enjoyable. Working from home can be a mixed blessing. For some, this is an ideal way to spend more time in their own environment, to get away from irritating colleagues, and to get rid of the commute. For others, this can feel a little like being under house arrest. Here are some tips that will help to ensure you fall into that former camp. Adopt flexi time. Depending on your precise work arrangements, working from home probably means you now have the luxury of deciding how and when you wish to work. That means you can get up early and finish at 2 p.m., or you can have the morning off and work into the evening. Mess around with what works best for you. Listen to music. Music can make a huge difference to how long and dull a day feels, and it can also help to keep you focused by blocking out distracting sounds. Invest in some good noise-canceling headphones. Watch movies and TV. This might sound counterproductive, but in fact, you can actually watch movies and TV while working at the same time. This is a strategy that Tim Ferriss has been known to use and that is useful for distracting that more creative part of your brain that doesn't enjoy dull work. The key is to watch something you already know very well and to take the sound off. This makes it a background distraction that you can gaze at occasionally while touch typing. It's just enough stimulation to prevent you from getting pulled away from your work. Surround yourself with inspiration. Inspiration is one of the key and most important tools for getting more work done. If you can bring yourself to feel inspired by the work you're doing, then it won't be a struggle to get yourself to start it and see it through. What can help in this regard, then, is to surround yourself with things you personally find inspiring. That might mean examples of great works in your field, or just images of the people who inspire you. Spend time with others. With your office time gone, you might find yourself going a bit mad from the social isolation. A good solution is to spend lunch times with others or to meet after you finish work. You've traded time with irritating colleagues for time with the people you love. It's an upgrade. Why you should tackle the biggest challenge first. You sit down at your computer, boot it up, and take a look at your to-do list. What do you find? Several big projects and a slew of smaller tasks that need doing. That's before you've even opened your emails. So what do you do? Which projects to get started first? The answer? Whichever task is the biggest and most unappealing. This is what is referred to as eating the frog, which in turn comes from a Mark Twain quote. If it's your job to eat a frog, it's best to do it first thing in the morning. And if it's your job to eat 2 frogs, it's best to eat the biggest one first. Another way to look at this is like so. It's better to have a big project behind you than in front of you. The issue with trying to tackle smaller projects and tasks first is that they have a tendency of building up and running over. If you tackle a long list of to-dos, then you're going to find yourself having to tick a lot of things off before you ever sit down to work. This can leave you exhausted, but it also often means you won't actually have time to accomplish much else come the end of the day. As the day goes on, you also lose willpower and energy, meaning that you will tend to spend longer on those bigger projects. There's now a very real threat of it not getting done. Usually, the biggest and most unpleasant task is the one that will provide the most value. This is the one that clients pay the most for, or that is the most important for your employers. Thus, if you complete this task first, you know that you've accomplished the thing that is most valuable. You've done the actual work. This is also a great tool for building and developing the kind of willpower you need to stay productive and self-motivated. There is an exception to this rule, though, of course. That is when you have something that is urgent to do. If a task has a shorter deadline and is something you can't push back, then you should complete this first to avoid getting in trouble. Then the next task will be the biggest and most challenging. Everything else goes on your to-do list.